sugar water and nothing else, is you stop pooping because your body absorbs everything and there's nothing left to pass through. You guys like to taste?
Oh no, I'm good.
Sugar water?
Oh, I'm good, bro.
If you pour a pound of sugar into a jug like that, fill it the rest of the way up with water and taste it. Everyone that has taken a taste of it is like, whoa, I've never tasted anything that's good in my life.
Yeah.
That's because it has the most of the chemical you need, sugar. Whatever has the most tastes the best. So I got onto a pound of sugar a day minimum 12 years ago. I don't eat anything else, and that stopped the food. 25-pound bags of organic cane sugar, and that's what I've been living off of for the past 12 years. I go through about 1.5 of those bags a month. If you ate anything else, then you would poop because there's something you're putting in that you can't absorb.
So you eat nothing?
Right, you stop pooping when you just put pure sugar water into your body because your body absorbs all of it.
What? When's the last time you actually had a meal?
12 years ago.
Bruh, and you just alive right now with
It
full
snaps
energy.
you to health.
No.
Large amount of sugar. Think of it this way. You don't need any other chemical hourly like you need sugar. Sugar is the fuel for the muscle, so for the vehicle to be used, which is what makes the vehicle healthy, it needs more fuel for the muscle. All the other chemicals for health are so much less important than the sugar we need hourly that you can take them in once a month. Stuff like protein in once a month. Nothing else gets used up as fast as sugar, but all the sugar you have at your disposal in your body is used up in 3 hours, and you're hungry and weak and tired from being out of sugar. Here's a simple experiment. Anyone can do this experiment. Go 24 hours without eating anything. Watch that feeling of hunger rise to like a torturous level. And when you can't take that feeling anymore, drink 1 glass of rich sugar water with at least a cup of sugar in that glass of water. And that shuts that whole feeling of hunger off like a light switch in 45 seconds because it's all about sugar. You look like you're growing younger. That's what people started telling me 12 years ago. Like, you look like you're growing younger.
You look about...
I'm turning 47 on May 6th.
47.
And 12 years ago, people said, you look like you're growing younger as soon as I got on sugar. It got me like this 12 years ago. It snapped me to it. You get on mega sugar intake, it snaps you to health in 30 days and you're just stuck like this for the rest of your life.
So 1 cup of sugar in a cup of glass of water.
To get started.
Do I have to stir it?
This has a little bit to do with acclimation.
Okay.
You couldn't jump to a pound of sugar a day the first day.
Okay.
So my recommendation is work into it through a month by taking 1/30 of the pound the first day.
Okay.
And the second day, take 2/30 of the pound. Then by the end of that month, you're taking a whole pound each day. Your body has had more than enough time to acclimate to it. Nothing will go wrong. Diabetes is the allergy to sugar from too little contact. That's why the top 10 most starving nations are also the top 10 most diabetic nations. Pakistan's #1 at 30% diabetic because it's the allergy to sugar from no contact with sugar.
Bro.
It's just like allergies to dog. If you don't pet a dog for 5 years and then you come around the dog and you start sneezing, you got allergic to it because you've had no contact with it. And just like all...
What's your name real quick?
Gigi Gaylord God Dog is my pseudonym. It's what all my books would be published by. Secret Society is covering this stuff up about sugar. From 1971, that's when the cover-up of the All Strength and Health Coming from Sugar started. Because in the 60s, the doctors got the entire population on sugar, and that's why the rebellion against the Vietnam War could not be stopped. That's why the college students were like, shoot us! Shoot us! That's what happens when you get everyone on sugar. And the people didn't connect the dots between the doctors getting everyone on sugar and the rebellion being unstoppable. But the Secret Society connected the dots by 1971, and they basically consensually agreed that to keep a rebellion like that from ever happening again, we got to con the population off of sugar.
Con that population.
So throughout the 70s, they started preaching the lies, eating sugar causes obesity and eating sugar causes diabetes, when in reality, both are caused by starvation. And that tricked everyone. Everyone that fell for getting off of sugar got obese and diabetic for getting off of sugar. Google will tell you right now, ask Google, what was the diabetes obesity count in the 1960s? And Google says, well, in the 1960s, it was 1 person out of every 500. It was almost non-existent. Then jump to 1980 after the year of promotion of getting off of sugar. Ask Google, what was the diabetes obesity count in 1980? Then it says, well, in 1980, it was 1 person out of every 15. That explosion from 1 person out of every 500 to 1 person out of every 15 came from the promotion to get off of sugar. The more sugar you eat, the higher your temperatures.
So,
because you just get very athletic when you're taking a lot of sugar. And the reason I wouldn't be getting cold is because you flex your muscles when you're on sugar.
What you about to do?
I'm showing you what really keeps the temperature up. I do handstands.
Oh, you're gonna do a handstand?
Yep.
Oh, okay. We're gonna see. Oh, damn.
This is what comes from sugar. is you just don't run out of any energy to do anything. It's like you're constantly looking for something else to do.
Drink your sugar water, y'all. Listen to Gigi. Gaylord.
God Dog.
God Dog.
Spelled Goddogg.
Cool.
And that goes along with the fact that I'm a transgender female, so my pseudonym starts with a female.
You're a transgender
Gigi.
female?
Yep.
Okay.
Did you know that all males have to start in the form of a female with a vagina, and it's not till 1 month into pregnancy that the male chromosome activates and mutates that entire female body to the male body. So all sexual abnormalities like hermaphrodites and transgenders and homosexuals and lesbians, they're all some male that was supposed to make the full mutation but failed to make the full mutation, and they wound up some mixture. So all females come out perfect because they don't have to go through that mutation. All sexual abnormalities come from a male that failed to make the full mutation. That's why all lesbians have the male chromosome. They were supposed to be a fully mutated male, but only their brain mutated over and their genitals remained female. Okay. All females come out perfect because they don't have to go through that dramatic change, and 10% of males fail to make the full mutation and produce some sexual abnormality. I never worked for money. I just kept looking for the next college textbook to memorize and the next college textbook to memorize. And I was focusing on all 5 branches of science. You go up to any normal scientist today and you say, is God real? Every scientist answers, I can't answer that question because that's not within the purview of my specialty. So we wind up with a bunch of narrowed in specialists that don't have the full perspective of all of reality. So there should be specialists who just study all 5 branches: physics, chemistry, biology, psychology, and sociology easily. So each branch is a higher level of complexity that the previous branch could not tackle. And that creates a new branch of complexity. So the irony is, physics is actually the simplest branch.
Well, man, you sound obviously very smart and knowledgeable.
I also solved particle entanglement. Particle entanglement is misunderstood to be one particle actually turning into 2 identical particles that behave magically opposite to each other. And what that really is a space warping mirroring effect. The one particle remains one particle, but you look to the left and you see that one particle shooting that way. You look to the right, you also see that one particle shooting that way. They're mirror images of the same one particle. That wipes out the impossible characteristic of mass doubling, because that's the first impossible thing, is if one particle is becoming 2 identical particles, the mass is somehow doubled in a closed system. That's the first impossible characteristic, which wouldn't exist if it's 2 mirroring effects. Those don't have mass to them. And the impossible characteristic of faster than light communication is wiped out if they're 2 equal mirror reflections. There's nothing inexplicable about 2 equal mirror reflections showing the same thing happening at the same time. So,
I think I got all of that.
I also solved why galaxies orbit the way they do. Galaxies orbit opposite moons and planets. Moons and planets orbit faster and faster the closer to the center they get. Everything in galaxies orbits slower and slower the closer to the center they get. The simple reason is because everything orbits the way moons and planets do when they're orbiting outside of a gravitational event horizon. Everything orbits the way galaxies do when they're orbiting inside of the gravitational event horizon. The gravitational event horizon of a planet that moons are orbiting around is around the surface of the planet. That's why all moons are orbiting outside of the gravitational event horizon. The gravitational event horizon of a star that planets are orbiting around is around the surface of the star. That's why all planets are orbiting outside the gravitational event horizon. But the gravitational event horizon of a galaxy is around the outer edge of the galaxy. On the outer edge, that's when you have the greatest pull inward, which gives you the fastest orbit. The more inside the gravitational event horizon you get, the more mass is getting on the other side of you, which is pulling in the opposite direction and canceling gravity out. So the more inside you get, the less and less pull is pulling you to the center, and the more slower of an orbit you wind up with. It's all about, is the stuff orbiting inside the gravitational event horizon of the gravity well or outside the gravitational event horizon? Get it? Another thing I figured out is why we have no contact with any intelligent alien life. The reason we have no contact with any intelligent alien life is because it's a simple mathematical explanation. It takes billions of years for each planet to reach its intelligence point where it can send and receive radio transmissions through outer space, but then they're also destined to go extinct within 100 or 200 or 300 years because there's all these other things. They reach the intelligence point by things getting exponential, but there's all these other things like greed and pollution getting exponential at the same time. So when a planet reaches the intelligence point, it's also doomed to be extinct within 100 or 200 or 300 years of that. And so because it takes so much time for one planet to get to its intelligence point, the mathematics are against any 2 planets being in that small intelligence window at the same time simultaneously so they can talk to each other.
Wow,
So we could be like the 700th planet in this Milky Way galaxy that reached the intelligence point. But they're all separated by oceans of time, each taking their turn of the great silence.
You are a shirtless walking encyclopedia, bro. That's really
Sometimes
cool.
Sometimes I like to think of myself as Jesus incarnate, but not literally.
Sweet.
I prepared to live my whole life by the spiritual vow of poverty. That's why it was easy to go through 25 years of college textbook reading and not worrying about getting
dealing with all the other stuff. Yeah,
not getting a job for the money. I mean, that's what I decided by age 6. Is if somebody lives by the spiritual vow of poverty, they can focus all their time of every day on learning and meeting people and talking, and whole lives get wasted just going back to some job to make more money. You get addicted to the money.
Yeah. He's got a point. He's got a point.
No matter what money you're making, you get addicted to needing more money.
That's
and then
true,
you got to figure out how to get more money.
He ain't lying, y'all. He ain't lying.
So I just got the idea from Jesus to live as cheap as possible and use the time wisely. And it seems to have finally paid off.
Well, we will do that.
Spread the word.
Yeah, man. Good luck to you on your journey, and hopefully you get your word out. Because, this is definitely some important information.
You're doing good work. You found a good hot spot.
Okay, bro. Well, it's nice meeting you.